I'd like to call this Caddo Parish September 8th, 3:30 regular session meeting to order, please. Mr. Hopkins, will you do roll call?
Dominic, Johnson,
Present.
Jackson, Lynn, Bowman, Cawthorn, Gage Watt,
Present.
Middleton,
Here.
Atkins,
Here.
Chavez,
Here, sir.
Smith,
Here.
Epperson.
Present.
We have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. We will have the invocation by Commissioner Epperson and the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Middleton. Everyone please stand.
Oh, great Jehovah, we thank you for allowing us another day in the land of the living. We thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, whom you allowed to come on this earth, to be crucified, died, buried, and resurrected, so that we may be afforded an opportunity of the tree of life. Father, we ask for your blessings upon our seniors who paved the way for us for so many things as they go through their years and their declining years. We ask that you take the pains away from their bodies, their hearts, and their minds. Father, we also ask your blessings upon the military and all of our persons that serving domestically and abroad. These and other blessings we ask in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Everyone, please face the flag of the United States of America, render the proper salute, military veterans, or hand over your heart, and recite with me the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any agenda additions? I do not see any agenda additions.
Mr. President,
I recognize Commissioner Middleton.
I move to suspend the rules for a resolution.
Second. Motion's been made to suspend the rules to allow Think First to go for recognition. Second by the chair. Passes by acclamation.
Can we, point of order, can we do that, or would we have to citizen comments first?
No, you can do that.
Okay.
That passes by acclamation. Please go ahead.
Okay. Can I ask Miss Donna Curtis, Donna Cavanaugh, to please step forward, and also any of her board members, and also these two folks in green.
She's with that group.
Mr. President, Commission, thank you for this opportunity to recognize not only friends, but also a very worthwhile project that's here in our community. I've worked with Miss Donna Cavanaugh for many years, over 20 years, and her husband is here, Dr. David Cavanaugh is right here. He is a noted neurosurgeon here in town. And between the two of them, they started, they had a brainstorm, I guess you could say, many years ago to start this great program called Think First. I'm going to ask the clerk to please go ahead and read the resolution. Come forward, Ms. Kavanaugh.
Okay. Resolution.
Please stand.
Everyone please stand. Sorry. I'm new at this. I'm a rookie.
Resolution of recognition to Think First National Injury Prevention Foundation. Whereas the Caddo Parish Commission is always pleased to acknowledge, commend, and support the selfless efforts of organizations that exist only to serve others, and whereas the defining example of such an organization in Caddo Parish has long been the Arklatex chapter of Think First National Injury Prevention Foundation, which since 1996 has shared injury prevention education with more than 206,000 children, youth, and adults. And whereas Think First seeks to educate people of all ages, communities, organizations, and policymakers about risky behavior and injury with the aim of changing behavior by presenting educational programs at schools, businesses, community centers, and other venues to raise awareness about injury prevention. And whereas traumatic brain and spinal cord injury is a leading cause of disability and death among children and young adults, with more than 500,000 cases each year, many of these injuries are preventable. And whereas the most common cause of such injuries is motor vehicle crashes, followed by violence, falls, and sports. A split second of action can have devastating consequences. Think First is here to help you think before you act and to use your mind to protect your body, so you avoid the pain and loss related in preventable injuries. Now therefore be it resolved by the Caddo Parish Commission in legal and regular session convened this 8th day of September 2016 that does hereby congratulate and commend Think First and their founder, Donna Kavanaugh, for 20 years of faithful service in Caddo Parish, Louisiana. Signed, Matthew Lynn, President, Stephen Jackson, Vice President, Mike Middleton, District 8.
I want to thank you for
You may be
this
seated.
honor, and it's wonderful working with commissioners like Mike Middleton for so many years. And one of the places that we do go that I don't think we mentioned is our jail, and so that's how we got connected with Mike. And it's not just me, but it's people like Ronald Fletcher here, who speaks how his life changed in a split second, and how that changes his life and his whole family's life, and how he doesn't want that to happen to anyone else. So he shares his personal story, his personal message. So I thank him, and I thank our board who are here today in grand support. My husband, who's been my avid supporter also as the co-founder, and also my staff that's here today, Lauren and Shai back there. So again, thank you for your dedication, thank you for your service, and thank you for the recognition, and may we continue to save lives and be lifesavers. And I hope you all do the same thing. And remember, it's a law to buckle up in your vehicle, the front seat and the back seat. Let me just throw that plug in.
And I want to congratulate Donna and her staff and her board members for a job that's well done. They do it all the time. They don't charge you anything to come out and do that. Ronald Fletcher, also known as Bubba, he comes out and does a lot of programs at the jail and anywhere else. I mean, all you have to do is call. It's VIP, Voice and Prevention, and that's what these folks are about. So they go into the schools, the elementary schools, wherever, and again, buckle up your seatbelt all the time. Thank you.
We need to vote.
Commissioner,
That is
Passed
moved
by
by
acclamation.
Commissioner Middleton, second by the chair, passes by acclamation, everybody. And if we can, could we move on to proclamation recognizing National Sickle Cell Awareness Month,
Can.
since we're right here? That's good.
Proclamation recognizing National Sickle Cell Awareness Month, proclaiming September as National Sickle Cell Awareness Month. Do you want this read, Miss? I will. Is there anybody here?
No.
Okay, I'll just go ahead and read proclamation. Whereas September is National Sickle Cell Awareness Month, and whereas sickle cell anemia is an inherited blood disorder that mostly affects people of African ancestry, but also occurs in other ethnic groups, which including people who are Mediterranean and Middle Eastern descent. Whereas more than 70,000 Americans have sickle cell anemia, about 2 million Americans, 1 in 12 African Americans, have sickle cell trait, which means they carry a single gene for the disease, but do not have the disease itself. And whereas sickle cell disease is a complex genetic disorder characterized by chronic anemia, episodes of pain and damage to vital organs, and whereas early identification of a child with sickle cell disease coupled with antibiotic prophylaxis by 3 months of age and early intervention services helps those with sickle cell disease, while researchers continue to search for a cure. Louisiana remains dedicated to the provisions of sickle cell screening, education, and medical care for individuals and families living with sickle cell disease through its support of Louisiana Department of Community Health's newborn screening program and Sickle Cell Disease Association of America. Now therefore be it resolved by the Caddo Parish Commission meeting in legal and regular session this 8th day of August 2016 that it does hereby proclaim September 2016 as National Sickle Cell Awareness Month in Caddo Parish, Louisiana, and urges all citizens to join the parish in recognition of this important month. Signed, Matthew Lynn, President, Stephen Jackson, Vice President, Stormy Gage Watts, District 7.
Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts, did you want to speak on that proclamation?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Commissioner, Clerk, our Commission Clerk, Mr. Hopkins. I would just like to reiterate some of the things that were said about the sickle cell disease, and by it being a rare blood disorder that affects mostly African Americans. And I just wanted to add emphasis on the fact of where the disease started from in Africa, from African Americans who inherited the malaria disease. And when those people survived with the malaria disease, two traits got together and the actual disease formed. So it's very important for us to know as African American what our status is. We're raising awareness all across the world about your status in sickle cell and the dangers about this disease. Most people know it for its pain. I am a sickle cell trait carrier, and I have a son who has the disease. The pain that comes along with it, it also causes other things. Kids as young as 2 years old have had strokes from the disease. We've been very fortunate and have not had to have blood transfusions and all of the other things that a lot of people have had to deal with. I ask you always, anytime I do a resolution, I always ask my colleagues to join me and to further your research and your knowledge and to make people aware of the disease, because it's past time for a cure. I won't stop fighting until there is a cure. So I ask you by our next meeting, if you would come and bring a sickle cell fact with you so that we can all share in sharing this information to the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts. With that, let's move back to citizens' comments. If anybody would...
Actually, Mr. President, we have Commission 6 as a tax board of review at this time.
Pardon me, I missed something. Say that again, Mr. Hopkins.
Commission 6 is tax board of review for tax assessments for the year 2016.
Oh, okay, that's ahead of citizens' comments. Thank you so much. Excuse me, Mr. Charlie Hennington, our glorious tax collector, for one. And whenever it's taxes, I want to glaze over taxes, but you go right ahead, sir.
The setter. Don't even say
I'm the assessor. Okay, I have a letter for y'all. I read every year. I read the same one. Dear members of the Board of Review, as assessor in and for the Parish of Caddo, this is to certify that the assessments on property located in and or accessible in Caddo Parish have been listed and assessed in accordance with Title 47, Section 1992. It is further certified that the said assessments have been exposed for public review for 15 calendar days, beginning August 18th and ending September 1st, 2016. Said certification of the above is hereby given to the Board of Review as required by Title 7, Section 1992. We have had a few appeals, not many this year. This was a revaluation year, and I'm sure most of y'all, I hope all of y'all, got letters in the mail about your reassessment on your homes or businesses. We have to keep taking appeals up through Monday, so 5 o'clock on Monday, I don't know how many appeals we'll have. Right now, we don't have any commercial real estate appeals. It's all personal property. So I'll know Tuesday. I'll talk to Todd Tuesday morning and tell him how many appeals we'll have that need to be heard. And we usually set it up for that Monday of your work session, this next one. And you can all sit in or have a select few, either one. So it doesn't matter. What time, do you have any idea what time you want to set it for?
We'll meet on that Tuesday of that week, because I think
Tuesday?
Martin Luther King Day is the 19th, if I'm correct.
No.
So we'll meet on the 20th?
This is September.
Oh. Well, yeah, I don't know where I'm at, actually.
Okay.
January.
A Monday. What time y'all normally meet on work session? 3:30 or?
3:30.
Okay, if we have many appeals, we may need to move that up a little bit, but we'll know, like I said, we'll know Tuesday morning.
We'll base the time that we set the meeting
Okay.
dependent on how many appeals there are.
That sounds good to
Maybe
me.
there'll be none.
Well, we've already started working on some of them. Some of them are, paperwork in between. They didn't finish filing paperwork, so they filed the appeal so they could, have their legal stance in there. So, you just don't know. We'll see. We'll see Tuesday.
Thank you.
All right.
There's no one on the board for you. Thank you, Mr.
All right.
Hennington.
Thank you.
This time we move to citizen comments.
Thank you. There we are. Citizens' comments. Citizens who wish to address the commission may do so on any issue. Right now, I only have one card, Mr. Terry and Miss Elizabeth Carter. Please approach the mic and state your name and address.
I'm Terry Carter, and this is my wife, Elizabeth Carter. Our address is 6486 Smith Lane in Shreveport, 71107. We would like to address this board and would like your consideration. We are trying to build a new home. We have 5 acres of land. We have a double wide on it now. We're trying to build a brick home. But we would like to live in our double wide up until our home is about 80% complete, and then sell it and move it off the property. It will be a one-resident home. It will be a one-resident property. The permits, people won't give us a permit until we get approval from MPC for a dual residency. We're not looking for dual residency. It's going to be one single residence. The home we have now will have to be moved before we can achieve final financing for the new home. We have a letter from the bank stating that we've already supplied to MPC and to the permits people saying this, but they say we still have to go to the next MPC meeting, which is going to cost $350, plus 2 $100 permits. The first of which is to outline where the new house is going to sit compared to the old house, like you would in dual residency. The second one is $100 to file a plat for the final layout, which will only have one house on it. So to us, I understand the need for the ordinance, but in this case, we really do not feel that it fits us because we're only trying to have one residency on this 5 acres of land. It's just us.
Mr. Carter, during this period, we are not able to ask questions of you or answer questions that you may have of us, but I would like to steer you towards Mr. Glass, who's in the back of the room with the blue shirt. I'm just guessing that you're outside the city limits of Shreveport.
We are outside the city
limits.
limits.
So I'm going to steer you to him, and then maybe y'all can figure out something. And if not, feel free to reach either myself or your commissioner,
which is Mr. Johnson,
in regard to this matter. Either after the meeting.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you to the body. That's the end of all of the cards that I have. Next item, please, Mr. Hopkins.
Now that maybe I've gathered into what month I really am.
Year.
We have no visitors. We've gone through special resolutions. This time we need to adopt the session minutes from August 18th.
Moved by Commissioner Middleton, second by Commissioner Cawthorn. Where in the world is Mr. Cawthorn? Oh, there he is. Please vote. That passes. Next item, please.
Next, we have communications and committee reports.
Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've just heard the Carters talk about their situation with the MPC, and lately I've been getting a lot of complaints about the MPC. There's been 2 or 3 churches that have had problems trying to get permits. One church is trying to build a new building on the existing property, and it's outside the city limits, and the existing church is wood frame, falling apart, so they want to put a new building up. They're parking on gravel, rocks, gravel, and grass. And so with the MPC, basically they're telling them now, based on stuff we hadn't even voted on, the UDC, that they have to have a parking lot. Well, that blows their whole budget to pieces. Another church put in a parking lot and was required to put in a sprinkler system in the little islands between some of the places where you park. Instead of just saying, okay, you put evergreen plants in and they'll stay green, now you got to put in a sprinkler system, which is additional cost that wasn't in nobody's scope, but that's what had to be done. Now we have the Carters that basically own over 5 acres of land, have a double wide, and wants to improve the property by putting in a brick structure. And they're telling them that it's dual residency. We've had this situation before, and the person didn't have to go through all of this. So I don't know if it's more toward this UDC stuff that we hadn't even voted on yet, or what, but I just think that we need to take a chill pill on what they're doing with the MPC and kind of bring them in some, because we're trying to make it simpler and easier to do business in Caddo Parish, The Carter's actually coming from Bossier Parish and wanted to reside in Caddo Parish, and now they got more red tape than they ever thought that they would ever go through, and to then have an additional $2,700 to be able to even get a permit to get on the agenda for the MPC. And if they don't do it by the 13th, then that would only put them on the November docket. So October is already, they can't make the October docket, so now you're looking at the November docket, and that's just delaying them from building their house. They've already built a house pad that's in front of it, so by delaying it, and we'll have some more additional rain, and more rain comes about, you're going to have to put more dirt out there. So I think that we either done gave them too much power, or they got perceived power and basically just saying, hey, you can't get this done, can't get this done, and with all these costs, it's just ridiculous. I mean, the original permit was $600, like he said. Then a dual residency is $350 additional. Then you got another $100 that they would have to do to submit a plat. Then there's another $350 for ZBA special exemption uses. Then there's another $100 fee. So, then you have a $1,200 legal lot of record deal that you have to do. So that's $2,700. We shouldn't be putting our taxpayers through that kind of problem and process to do something as simple as improving their property and improving the value of everything around them. Because right now, staying in a mobile home, I think it's like $75 or something like that, or maybe even less. And we're talking about a brick building that's going to bring in more tax to the parish, and so why stand in the way of improvement? I mean, that's one thing that we have. Don't stand in the way of improvement. So I think I preached enough on that one, and I hope that NPC people are listening to me, or people in the audience, people in Shreveport listening to me, and call NPC and call your commissioner, call your city councilman to get these things changed. Second thing I want to talk about is I know the mayor of Shreveport and Bossier talked today about National Night Out, and I brought up that last year that the parish would be expanding National Night Out. Instead of not only just being inside the city limits, it would also be in the parish. And I know Crystal will be working on getting out some publicity, pushing that in the parish as well. Today also the sheriff made note that applications can be made through the sheriff's office for people outside of the city limits. So they can do applications, they'll come out and make sure that they have the road blockage so that they can block the roads off and to enjoy their block parties as well. And we want to encourage everyone to do this, because what it does is the more that people know their neighbors, the better it is for everyone. And then it'll put the criminals on their heels, because if everyone is looking out for each other's property, then you don't have to worry about someone breaking into your home when you're there or even when you're gone. Third thing I want to talk about is yesterday I looked at a press conference dealing with Plant Aqua Group. Is that one of the groups that's part of the EAP? Someone that can answer?
Yeah,
I believe that's correct.
if I may, Mr.
Go
Chairman.
ahead, Mr. Atkins, Commissioner.
I know that that EAP facilitated their business plan, and then Aqua Group presented to the Angel Fund, but it wasn't really the right fit for the Angel Fund because it's not really a seed capital kind of deal. So then the EAP introduced them to a local bank, which helped work through getting a SBA loan.
Okay.
So the EAP was, helped with the process.
All right, so if a dime of Caddo Parish money was used for that, I'm offended if it was, because no one from the parish was there at the press conference. And if we help fund EAP and we help them do what they do, at least we should be invited and be at the table when they have the positive showings of what they're supposed to be doing. And that's why I've always been against it. Just want to throw that piece in there. The third part I want to talk about, and I'm sorry if I'm taking long, but these are things that my constituents want me to talk about, is adjudicated property. Had one lady to buy some property inside the city limits through the parish adjudication. And in that, it took about 2.5 years for the property to close. So she started the process in 2011, in December, and it closed May 2014. But in the meantime, the city portion of the property continued to accrue taxes. So right now, tax interest on the sale of the tax interest of the property is over $5,700, and she didn't pay that much for the piece of property in the adjudication sale. And it wasn't old enough for the parish to bring it in, so it was one of those split deals in which it was adjudicated on the parish side, but yet it wasn't yet adjudicated on the city side, and so it's a split deal. But there was no communication on the city part to say that, hey, you owe these taxes until now. And so I've already talked to Jimmy to, yeah, come on up, Jimmy, and try to explain a little bit more, because I know she's watching. And she told me she would.
I thought it wiped out. I thought when you bought it, it wiped it out.
I thought so too, but Jimmy gonna clear you up a little bit.
I just got involved in this yesterday, Commissioner, but I'll tell you what I do know. Miss Myers, the purchaser of the property, or her company, I should say, applied to purchase and buy a piece of adjudicated property within the city limits, which was only adjudicated to the parish. Somebody was paying the city taxes. So we caution people, if they want to do that, you're going to have, and we can sell it. There's no problem with us selling our interest in it, and they're going to be shown as the owner. But if it's not adjudicated to both, you're basically buying it subject to whatever's going on with the city. Now, on this particular piece of property, it was adjudicated to the parish, so it wasn't going for tax sale, but it was going up for tax sale every year at the city tax sale. And a different company was coming in and buying it every year and every year and every year, and there's like 5 tax sales on the city side. What happened was, on the year we sold it to Miss Myers, the most recent tax buyer who was getting the tax notice, and I don't know the name of that company, but they're a big tax buyer, didn't pay the taxes. And Miss Myers had bought it after the tax roll had closed, so she wasn't going to get a tax bill on it. It was going to that tax buyer. And we caution people and we tell them, you got to check with the city to find out what's going on. Now, I will tell you this. I've got a problem, and I wish Mr. Hennigan was still here, because I'm trying to find out right now. I haven't gotten good information yet. But there's only 2 years of city taxes due on that piece of property. And we called the city, and they gave us that $5,700 number. This is a vacant lot, which is assessed at $2,600. I don't think the taxes should be any more than $300 a year. So I'm trying to determine, and it was sold at tax sale every year prior to that. So that means the taxes are being paid. It's just not the owner's not paying them, the tax buyer's paying them.
Right.
So I'm trying to find out, and I'll let you and Ms. Myers know as soon as we find out where that $5,700 is coming from, because that's just way, I just can't understand that.
I can't understand it either.
On a $2,600 vacant lot.
Right. And I wish you get to the bottom of it and let her know and me know as well.
We will let you know.
And she's definitely waiting on it.
Oh yeah, we'll let you know, but I can't. I just can't. I don't know where that figure comes from.
Okay, thank you.
Might want to add one other thing to what you were talking about earlier, just which the folks that were here earlier.
The Carters.
Yes, the Carters. One thing that wasn't on your list, that if the MPC requires them to plat and do a legal subdivision, they're going to owe an additional $200 fee to our office as well.
Yeah, and that's already ridiculous, all these different fees, just for paperwork. So, thank you. I'm through, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Commissioner Atkins.
Just a quick update on NGO. The administrative team has collected all of the NGO applications, and they're sorting through them now, and have worked through the criteria to determine who's eligible and who's not, and have all those listed on a spreadsheet. And we're just trying to consolidate all of that and get our arms around it. And once we have all that consolidated in a clear and communicatable format, we'll call an NGO meeting together to then begin discussing our options. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Atkins. Commissioner Epperson.
Dr. Wilson, you mentioned the 23rd for a possible budget retreat.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That will not be good for me, but
Okay.
I will, don't hold up on account of me. I can come in and maybe get briefed by someone in the finance, at my leisure.
Okay.
So don't put me down for, I'll take care of it on my own. The Timberline Homeowners Association, Deer Creek Homeowners Association, the Westview Christian Church, and the surrounding areas will hold our National Night Out Against Crime Saturday, September the 24th. The Caddo Parish Sheriff Department will be coming out giving information on crime prevention. Caddo Fire District 3 will be coming out, and also we have Animal Services here. Would be out with some pets to be adopted, which went over well in the previous years at our National Night Out. Also, Ms. Hopkins, could you name the persons that have been submitted to the subcommittee for the monument, so we can have it for the record? Do you have that available?
I don't have it with me at
Okay,
this
what
moment.
about you, Mr. Chavez? Well, could you get that? I'd like that read into the record at this meeting, since we had that. I think we had that committee meeting today. Okay. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Commissioner Epperson. Commissioner Dominic.
Oh, Kevin, y'all got that area cleaned up at the courthouse, it looked like?
Yes, sir, we have a but we're also setting up trees right to prevent more.
Okay, I rode by the other day, and I just wanted to say thanks for the prompt action, and basically there were some areas by the courthouse need to be cleaned up because of some pigeon droppings, I guess. So I appreciate your quick response. I just looked by it today and it looked like it cleaned up. It's on the benches and the concrete area, so thank you.
The city helps us out a lot on that too.
All right, we'll tell them thanks for the prompt action. Y'all did a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is that everything? That's it. Commissioner Chavez.
Thank you, President. Chuck, good job on getting that dog to the right owner, or the new owner. And I just wanted to check in on the hog issue out there on Ellerby and see if you guys had any updates. Okay. Have they got any hogs yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
Just a squirrel.
You gonna smoke them?
Hog-head cheese, huh?
Thank you, Chuck. excuse us. Thank you. That's all, President.
Thank you, Commissioner Chavez. Commissioner Johnson.
Yes, I had one other thing. Kevin, are we still moving forward with the David Raines addition?
Yes, sir, we have the pre-bid coming up, and then we open up bids.
You guys are as bad. If they said tortillas, I'd be like, all right.
Thank you, sir.
We're still on schedule and rolling.
All right, thank you.
Is that everything?
That's it.
Mr. Hopkins, do you have that
Sure,
list
I have it now.
that Commissioner Epperson would want?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Gary Joyner, Pastor R. Timothy Jones, R.J. Johnson, Charles E. McMichael, Miss Jackie Nichols, John Andrew Prime, John Ratcliffe, Bishop Larry Brandon, and the other two names didn't get in this pile, but Miss Watts, your other name was?
David Morris, and it was a Joanne somebody.
Joanne
Sigler.
Sigler.
David.
Those are the 10 names.
Mr.
10 names.
Mr. Hopkins, would you email those? Now, did all of those have resumes with them?
No,
Some
not
kind
all
of
of them.
bios? Okay, would you email that to all of us?
I will.
And what was that last one?
Joanne Sigler.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hopkins. Commissioner Epperson, is there anything else?
No, sir.
Fantastic. That's the end of communiques reports.
President's report, sir.
First, I guess, in my passion to make sure that the citizens of Caddo Parish money is well represented and all the information is presented to our parish commissioners, Monday, I believe I stepped on the toes of Caddo Parish Administrator Dr. Woodrow Wilson and Caddo Parish Attorney Donna Frazier, and I'd like to say on air that I apologize if I misstated or said anything that offended or damaged either of you in any way, shape, or form. And I apologize to them in private as well beforehand. Leading on past that, tomorrow there is an economic development meeting at 11:30 a.m. here, and on Saturday, September the 17th, the Highland Jazz and Blues Fest will be in full operation. This is a free event to everybody that can make it there, and on top of it being a free event to everybody that can make it there, all of you around this horseshoe and everybody that knows where I live, y'all are welcome to come over there also. I live across the street. Anyway, that is the end of my president's report.
Repeat the date and time, Mr. President.
The date is Saturday, September the 17th. The first band goes on at, I want to say, 11 a.m. There's food vendors set up. It's in Columbia Park, and it's an all-day event. When the sun goes down, the event closes down. So it's from lunch till dusk.
Thank you, sir.
That's Saturday.
Mimosas and
September
Bloody
the
Marys?
17th should be Saturday. I'd like to address Commissioner Epperson.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
A question. The relative to the, I guess, the request from the IDB board or someone wanting a vote as to what our position would be on them accepting the $100,000. Does that come up today?
Say that one more time, sir.
We voted that down.
No.
Extend it 30 days.
Okay, so I thought in the work session you don't vote to advance something to Thursday for formal action?
Yeah, but
It was delayed for 30 days, sir, to that 30 days that Monday. At that time, it would have to be authorized to move to that Thursday.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, and thank you for calling me over. I just got a note that also the C.C. Antoine Festival is this coming Saturday, so this and just day after tomorrow will be happening as well. And if anybody could chime in to tell me what time that starts, I would greatly appreciate it. And some more information. Does anybody have any information on that?
I'll get it for you. 1 second.
Thank you. We're going to hold over and let Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts give us some more information on that. A lot of these festivals that you see within the city limits of Shreveport are paid out of Caddo Parish money. Of course, now granted, it is the citizens of Caddo Parish that fund this body, and then this is money that we put back into services and events that serve the community as a whole. And while we're waiting on Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts, Commissioner Dominic.
yeah, I just, Morning Sport Festival is this weekend. I know Friday, tomorrow night they'll have fireworks. Saturday, all day will be the festival and parade. So if anybody wants to come out, enjoy the festivities. I know that the parish usually comes out and supplies some speakers and some mics and some stands and things like that. So park and recreation. So we'll appreciate their help and look forward to anybody being there this weekend.
And I just got a note, the C.C. Antoine Festival is from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And so we're just waiting on the exact location.
Okay.
Well, we can come back to that. Anyway, we'll touch base on that in a little bit for anybody and everybody who's interested. That'll be the end of the much expanded President's Report. Next item.
Next, we move to public hearing ordinances. Ordinance number 5609, proposing an amendment to the Caddo Parish Home Rule Charter relative to Section 3-05 compensation.
Moved by Commissioner Middleton.
No, it's public hearing.
Excuse me, pardon me, thank you, I'm jumping the gun. Anyway, is there anybody here that would like to speak in favor of ordinance 5609 of 2016? Is there anybody here that would like to speak in opposition of ordinance 5609 of 2016? Next item, please.
Ordinance number 5610 of 2016, proposing an amendment to the Caddo Parish Home Rule Charter relative to Section 3-07 Commission Meetings and Rules.
Is there anyone here to speak in favor of ordinance 5610 of 2016? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition of ordinance 5610 of 2016? Next item.
Ordinance number 5611, 2016, proposing an amendment to the Caddo Parish Home Rule Charter relative to Section 5-05.2 Department of Fleet Services for presentation to the electorate.
Is there anyone here to speak in favor of ordinance 5611 of 2016? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition of ordinance 5611 of 2016? Next item.
Ordinance number 5612 of 2016, proposing an amendment to the Caddo Parish Home Rule Charter relative to Section 6-10 facsimile signatures for presentation to the electorate.
Is there anyone here to speak in favor of ordinance 5612 of 2016? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition of ordinance 5612 of 2016? Next item.
Ordinance number 5613 of 2016, proposing an amendment to the Caddo Parish Home Rule Charter relative to Section 8-03, amending or repealing the charter for presentation to the electorate.
Is there anyone here to speak in favor of ordinance 5613 of 2016? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition of ordinance 5613 of 2016? Next item.
Ordinance number 5614, proposing an amendment to the Caddo Parish Home Rule Charter relative to Section 9-12, review of the charter for presentation to the electorate.
Is there anyone here to speak in favor of ordinance 5614 of 2016? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition of ordinance 5614 of 2016? Next item.
Ordinance number 5616, to deem property surplus and authorize the sale of surplus property owned by the Parish of Caddo.
Is there anyone here to speak in favor of ordinance 5616 of 2016? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition of ordinance 5616 of 2016? Next item.
Next, we move to ordinances for final passage. Ordinance number 5609 of 2016, proposing an amendment to the Caddo Parish Home Rule Charter relative to Section 3-05 compensation.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Dominic, second by Commissioner Middleton. Would you like to speak on your motion, Commissioner Dominic?
No, that's just fine.
Then do you want to speak on yours?
I think the members of the committee, which is representing folks of the citizenry, and we appointed this committee, I think they have spoken, and it should be unfiltered and continue on the way it's been presented by them. That's all. Thank you.
I'd like to make an amendment to this to make whoever or whatever vote to this to come to the body would be by supermajority. I clicked it. I clicked it right.
Yeah, but you third. But you're not on the board.
Okay.
There you are. Third.
Anyway, amendment by supermajority.
I'll second that.
That's motion made by the chair to amend it, that this would be by supermajority. Second by Commissioner Chavez.
We got rules. I mean, Johnson is up there. You're down here third. You're jumping over other people.
We can't
I'm
break
sorry,
those.
I clicked it immediately afterwards.
I understand, but we're looking at this. Apparently you didn't. I mean, it wouldn't have. I think you need to let Commissioner Johnson and Atkins, and then you can speak.
Okay, Commissioner, then it goes back to Dominic and...
Good job by the parliamentarian.
Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes, I would like to offer a proposed substitute motion for ordinance 5609. I put one in everyone's station. You should have it. The changes are in red and need to be read. Clerk to read it as it is in red.
I second.
Mr. Hopkins, will you read this for the record?
Sure. Okay, substitute motion. Salary of Commissioner shall be established in accordance with the Charter and shall include only direct wages. The President of the Commission shall receive an additional $100 per month until changed in accordance with this charter. B, the Parish Commission may periodically review the compensation paid to commissioners and may change same ordinance, for which must be approved by 2/3 vote of the entire membership of the Commission, provided that no ordinance changing such salaries shall be passed during the last year of term. C, in red, reimbursement for mileage, road inspection, or travel to and from courthouse or any similar purpose will not be paid. D, no commissioner shall receive any additional compensation, benefit, or privilege, direct or indirect, other than the salary specified in subsection A of this section because of his office. You will see, I think in front of each one of you, the differences of the two.
Right, I made the charter review version at the top and then the proposed substitute motion at the bottom with the changes from the original charter in red that we want to make. And I think, well, what Commissioner Middleton said about being unfiltered, you know, the charter review, you know, we sat and we appointed people to go, and we also had 3 people from the parish that's also in those meetings, which is the administrator, the attorney, and the president. And so that makes up the charter review. During all the meetings, I think if you want to say that it would be unfiltered, it would be as if no other commissioners are there, no other input from the commissioners while they're debating or while they're going through those particular sections of the charter. So to offer suggestions and pieces of input during the review, to me, makes the filter at the front end. So when you put the filter on the front end, then you have to do something on the back end to put it kind of back where it really should be at. And, you know, kind of talking to some of the members of the charter review, this one was, I guess, highly debated, came up a couple times. Reading through the minutes, I saw where the first time it failed, then it was pushed to be put back on the agenda, and it only passed where 2 members were absent. The administrator, the attorney, and the president were told to abstain from the vote, and the president of the charter review, or the chairperson of the charter review, voted against it, and you only had 2 members vote for it, or 3, 2, I think it was 2. So, I mean, it really wasn't by overwhelming vote that they supported it, and for all those stipulations to be put in at this point in time about this particular ordinance, I just felt that it was wrong. There was some compromise to what they did say based upon the changes in red, so I would ask that you would support the proposed change. And in this, you know, the voters still have their say, because if we pass by 2/3 vote that we want to raise, they have the capability at the end of the term to vote you out of office and bring in somebody else, because that's their time to say, hey, either you're doing a good job or you're doing a bad job, or you're doing something that we don't like, and that's their opportunity. They vote at the end of the term to elect either a new person or put you back in office. And, you know, with the term limits, you only got 3 terms to do it. So that's their mechanism to say we have an input in this. It's when they go to the polls and they vote to either bring you back or put somebody else in your seat. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Commissioner Atkins.
I think Commissioner Johnson makes some very reasonable points, and his proposed amendments are also very reasonable. However, similar to Commissioner Middleton, I feel that that all these issues were properly debated within the Charter Review Committee. They did have the benefit of legal counsel there, and administration there, and the commission president there. So I think that that it would be appropriate to honor their recommendations without modifying them here at this particular point. I'm afraid that if we modify them at this particular point, it sends the wrong message that we aren't necessarily willing to honor all the recommendations of the Citizens Review Committee. And that's my overarching desire, is to show that we're honoring the recommendations of the citizens. Thank you. So I'll be voting.
Who seconded that motion, may I ask?
That was seconded by Commissioner Middleton. The motion was made by Commissioner Dominic.
Substitute motion.
The substitute motion, it died.
No. Commissioner Epperson seconded my motion.
Oh, there's a new for this one, pardon me.
He's asking why you didn't.
That one, I didn't want.
He's asking why you didn't get to
One of them days.
Commissioner, thank you, Commissioner Epperson. Commissioner Johnson, Commissioner Epperson, I owe you an apology. I did not log that into the machine. Thank you. So that motion was, that substitute motion was made by Commissioner Johnson and seconded by Commissioner Epperson. Commissioner Epperson, I apologize for skipping over you in your second. Would you like to speak on your second?
I concur wholeheartedly with Mr. Johnson. Thank you.
Thank you. I will support the original unadulterated version of this that was pushed out of committee. The only thing that I would have added, which I'm no longer going to add, is that I think that for the commission body to propose a rate of pay change to go to the people, that it should have moved by the people by a 2/3 vote, where I see that the Second Amendment already has that included in it. However, I will be voting on the amendment as proposed by the Charter Review, which is the first section. Commissioner Johnson, you're back on the board. Would you like to speak?
Yeah, I had a question for Donna, if she can remember. On the last Charter Review, of those changes, how many of those were actually taken to the voters, and how many did the commission vote down in the meeting?
I can tell you for the last one, I don't think any of the changes were taken to the voters, so that means the commission didn't pass any of them by the necessary majority.
Okay, thank you. So I just want to make sure that everyone up here, the new people, know that it's not unusual that the committee can make a change and the commission can come back and say, well, we don't want to take that to the voters. Okay. You know, the problem I have with this is that if there is, say, maybe a couple commissioners out with a simple majority, someone can make a motion, if they have it on the agenda, that they want to reduce the salary. And so with a reduction of salary and a simple majority, then that can go before the voters. To me, anything that's made as important as this should always take a 2/3 vote and not a simple majority. Because you can have a situation where you have commissioners out on official business somewhere else and this comes up. So I just want to make sure that you guys know that I really feel that it should be a 2/3 vote on something this serious and not just a simple majority. Because if you have some people out, it's easy to pass, even if it's only 8 or 7 here for the meeting. It's 7 here for the meeting. All you need a simple majority is 4, and it passes. So think about that when you make your vote, because to me, it needs to be more than a simple majority, at least a 2/3. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Dominic.
Yeah, I got a couple questions. As far as the citizens that are sitting there, who sits on Dr. Wilson, are you on that?
Yes, I am.
Donna, are you on it too?
The Charter Review Committee?
Charter Review?
Yes, sir.
Who does it include? The administrator and the parish attorney?
The administrator, parish attorney, and the commission president from the parish side.
Okay, and then the next question is, do y'all have a vote or y'all ex officio members?
According to the charter, the way it is now, we have a vote. I voluntarily took myself out of voting on everything that was passed. And then at this particular vote for this amendment, Dr. Wilson and Commissioner Lynn were asked to remove themselves from the voting process on this, and they complied with their request.
If I read in B, just try to clear up some stuff from Commissioner Johnson. It says the parish commission, this is the way the initial thing is proposed, may periodically review compensation and paid. I guess the top one is correct. Is that right?
Sir?
The top one is the way it's proposed,
That's,
right?
top one is from the charter review.
Okay. It says, the parish commission may periodically review the compensation paid the commissioners and may change same by ordinance. So it wouldn't be just a simple vote. It'd have to be by ordinance, correct, Donna?
It would be, according to this, the change that is proposed, it would be an ordinance, but proposed now, in the charter, it has to be by a 2/3 vote.
Okay.
By ordinance. So that's more than your regular 7 votes that are required for a regular
I
ordinance.
understand, but it's still, if it's by ordinance, it's gonna have to introduced and laid over. It's not
Oh,
gonna be
yes,
like,
that-
it's not gonna be like it's gonna be at one meeting and just, you know, where commissioners are gone and this is voted on. We're gonna have a heads up of at least a couple meetings because it would be by ordinance. I'm just pointing that out. So, my questions have been answered. Of course, I made the motion, so I'm gonna vote for the original. Thank you.
Okay. Please vote on the substitute motion.
That fails.
It's gotta pass by,
It's 2/3 vote on any charter amendments.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
We'll get to the original
We'll
motion.
go to the original motion.
Be clear, Mr. Chair, the original
Yes.
motion is that we adopt the results of the Charter Review Committee?
Yes, sir.
On this particular ordinance.
Mr.
Or this
Hopkins, that
particular-
is
just-
correct.
Yeah, this
Correct.
particular one.
Okay.
Everybody voted?
That fails.
Okay, that fails.
That fails.
Next
Ordinance,
Move on.
ordinance number 5610 of 2016, proposing amendment to the Caddo Parish Home Rule Charter relative to section 3-07, commission meetings and rules.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Epperson, second by Commissioner Dominic. Please vote. That goes to the voters. Next item.
Ordinance number 5611, proposing amendment to the Caddo Parish Home Rule Charter relative to section 5-05.2, Department of Fleet Services.
So move.
Moved by Commissioner Johnson, second by Commissioner Bowman. Please vote.
Commissioner Carpenter.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon me.
Mr. Atkins?
I'm sorry, I pushed it, just didn't take it.
Fine.
That goes to the voter. Next item.
Ordinance number 5612, proposing amendment to the Caddo Parish Home Rule Charter relative to section 6-10, facsimile signatures.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Atkins, second by Commissioner Cawthorn.
That was Bowman.
That was Bowman. No, I was trying to balance them out, y'all.
That was Bowman.
It's that bad year here.
Commissioner Johnson, do you want to?
I just want to ask a question to Attorney Frazier. Why was this so important for the committee? I couldn't determine that in the minutes.
Let's see. I think it's just 5612 is what we're discussing.
12.
Technology change.
Just basically a technology change, trying to keep
That's
up.
cool. That's all I need.
Yeah,
Technology
okay.
change. That's all.
Please vote. That goes to the voter. Next item.
Ordinance 5613, proposing amendment to the Caddo Parish Home Rule Charter relative to section 8-03, amending and repealing the charter.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Dominic,
Second.
second by Commissioner Chavez. Please vote. That moves to the voter. Next item.
Ordinance number 5614, proposing amendment to the Caddo Parish Home Rule Charter relative to section 9-12, review of the charter.
So move.
Moved by Commissioner Epperson, second by Commissioner Atkins. Please vote. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. Commissioner Johnson, do you want to speak, or
Which
do you
one
want?
we on, 14?
14.
14. Yes, sir.
All right, I'm good.
Okay. Please vote.
hold on.
Wait, we're on
5614.
Talk about 14? Okay, yeah, I need to talk about that one.
Where,
14, yeah, I need to talk about
we need to
14.
talk about, okay, well, everybody's already voted.
No,
Mr.
everybody ain't
Hopkins,
voted.
legal, where are we? You want to clear the board?
You learned it now,
Well, a lot of people have voted, so where are we in this?
Can we clear the board, let him speak?
I didn't need to speak. I had to.
Well, I didn't see you on the board.
We
I
can't-
was on the board.
Well, then I asked you and you said
I
no.
would defer to the parliamentarian.
I would think that we need to allow him to speak. He was on the
Okay,
board. and
thank you.
just
We
a little
don't,
clear
we
for
haven't,
us.
clear the votes, please. Okay,
I couldn't care no.
Commissioner Johnson.
Okay. Reason I'm proposing that we vote against this is because of the way the charter is set up. You have 6 citizens. You have 3 from the parish, the administrator, the parish attorney, and the president. Those are the 3 members of that charter review. That makes up 9, which is an odd number. To have 7 citizens not familiar with local government, parish government, involved in a charter, or having 7 citizens involved in the charter, and no person there to help guide them through the process, could be very dangerous to this charter review in the future. And I think that having those people on there, and to offset if you have a situation where you have some citizens that really want to do a drastic change that really wouldn't be beneficial to the parish, that you at least have 3 votes that you could say could offset something where you might have a couple of wildcats that got on there and have a hair up them doing something that would be a drastic change. So, you know, you always need to have checks and balances, and I think the checks and balances here is with the 3 members of the parish, because we as the body vote on having a president, and then we always appoint our administrator, and then our attorney is pretty much there to be more of a non-biased person, but to give them the legal rams of what they should do or shouldn't do. But you know that sometimes even with her giving that ram of legal advice, even with people who've been elected, they don't listen to it. So why would somebody who's appointed to a commission charter listen to it as well if they just have that out to do something drastic against the charter? So I think you need to keep this checks and balance in place. The forefathers that wrote this had it in for a reason. It's been working so far in the past, and I just think just to take them off as non-voting members and add an additional citizen doesn't do us any good. If everybody read the minutes and looked at them, you can see how sometimes that you can try to corner some people in to try to do certain things that they think is right, but may not be of the best interest of the parish. So my thing is keep it as the best interest of the parish and keep the 3 people that should be on there from the parish commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Atkins.
Again, those are very well thought out, reasonable, a well thought out, reasonable statement, position. I just felt that in this particular case, we still have the insights of the 3 parish, well, the 2 parish administrators and the president, and so they will be in those meetings and can express their views and opinions and hopefully, yeah, right, but hopefully keep the wildcats in order. And then the ultimate balance is this body here. You know, if they really get out of bounds with if a charter review committee really gets out of bounds, then there's an opportunity to check it in this body. So, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Atkins. Commissioner Middleton.
Yeah, I just want to expound a little bit on what Commissioner Atkins just said. The members, for the majority of the members that were in, I'm talking about Ms. Swain, and Billy Wayne and them, they said that they thought this was going to be more citizen-driven, and they really kind of surprised that the administrator and the attorney and the president pro tem had any say in it at all. So that's also going with their thoughts on that too, because that was expressed in our open meeting. in which I was not a member of the committee, but I was an observer of every one of the meetings. But that's just to expand on what Mr. Atkins said. They were surprised, and they wanted to see it go more citizen-driven than administration-driven.
I see more people want to talk since I
Is that everything, Commissioner Middleton?
Yes, sir, that's it.
Commissioner Dominic?
Yeah, I agree with Commissioner Atkins and Commissioner Middleton, and I was going to say the same thing. It seems that what we were wanting, or at least some of us were wanting this charter review to be more citizens-driven, and with 7, you're going to have at least one more citizen, but you're going to take the realm out, obviously, the parish administrator, the president, and the attorney, and I don't think, I mean, in my opinion, they shouldn't be able to vote. That's why I was asking, did y'all have a vote? I was kind of surprised y'all got a vote on that. It would seem like by taking y'all out, that makes it more citizens driven. That's what this thing is, a citizens committee. And I think Commissioner Atkins made the same point that I was thinking is if you do have any wildcats, so to speak, Commissioner Johnson, then we'll do just like we did a while ago. And you said this over and over again, you know, that first ordinance that we voted down, it didn't pass. It had to be by 2/3. I think it was a 6-5. So it's not going to be submitted either way, the motion that I made or the motion you made. So the majority spoke, or at least I guess it has to be 2/3 or whatever. So, you know, and I do think it's important for us to get good citizens who have some type of knowledge on that committee. The one that I asked to be put on there, I think was very well versed and had experience on that. So the ones I saw on there were, you know, I didn't think there were any wildcats on there. So hopefully we keep the wildcats up.
I didn't say on this one.
Okay, I know, I'm just thinking in the future though. Hopefully we can, us as a commission body will be able to vet those 7 members to make sure we get good citizens who are in, you know, doing things what's best for the interests of the parish. So I'll be voting on it the way it is. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to say that it is this commission body that chooses the citizens that are on the committee in the first place. In the committee meeting as it was with Attorney Frazier recusing herself from any votes, and she did not vote on any issue at all. And the committee was a very, very, very much citizen-led. I would like to say that Administrator Wilson and myself both took a back seat and let everybody talk. And the only time I really heard either one of us say anything was for clarification on historical value of things. And since we were able to vote, we did vote. However, at the end, we were asked not to vote, and we both then said, okay, we won't vote. And so we were very much led by the citizens. Now I'm gonna vote on it as it is printed. However, I will say that committee was citizen-led. Anyway, that's everything I have to say. Commissioner Cawthorn.
I just have one nuanced observation. Isn't the parish administrator dictated to be has to be a citizen of Caddo? The attorney, a citizen of Caddo, and obviously the president of the commission has to be a citizen of Caddo.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
That's all I got to say.
Commissioner Middleton.
Excuse
me, pardon me, you've already spoke. Commissioner Chavez, pardon me.
Call for the question. Second.
Question's been called by Commissioner Chavez, second by Commissioner Dominic. Please vote. Question's been called, please, hang on, do we have a substitute? This is just up or down? Okay, up or down, thank you. That is, thank you. Next item.
Ordinance number 5616, to deem property surplus and authorize the sale of surplus property.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts. Second, that was Commissioner Johnson. Thank you, sir, for raising your hand so I can see rather than hear. Please vote. That passes. Next item.
Ordinance for introduction by title, ordinance number 5617, amending the budget for estimate revenues and expenditures for capital outlay fund, building maintenance fund, capital improvement fund, public works fund, riverboat fund, and the solid waste fund for the year 2016 to terminate completed or lapsed capital projects. Ordinance number 5618 of 2016, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the economic development fund for the year 2016 to provide an appropriation of up to $300,000 for the Southern University at Shreveport Aerospace Program. Ordinance number 5619 of 2016 to close and abandon the dedication of certain roads located in Spring Ridge Hills, Units 1, 3, and 4 in Caddo Parish. Next, we need to ratify the work session minutes.
Moved by Commissioner Dominic, second by Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts. Please vote. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, Mr. Johnson. Okay.
No, I'm supposed to be off. I pushed it. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's 6:18.
Ratified.
Is it ratified? Next item, please.
Next, we move to resolutions. Resolution number 61, urging Mr. Kenneth Myers to be appointed to the Sparta Groundwater Conservation District Commission.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by the chair, second by Commissioner Dominic. Please vote.
Mr. Bowman and Mr. Atkins.
We pressed.
Yeah, we pressed it.
Should eat my weed.
That passes. Next item, please.
Resolution number 64, supporting the 2016 Caddo Parish Commission committing certain monies to pay engineers and administrative fees associated with LADOTD Transportation Alternative Program grant.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Dominic, second by Commissioner Middleton. Please vote. That passes. Next item.
Resolution number 66, 2016, approving the holding of an election in North Caddo Hospital Service District, Caddo Parish, State of Louisiana on Saturday, December 10th. Authorizing.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Dominic, second by Commissioner Cawthorn. Please vote. Is it Bowman? Okay, y'all are playing with my ears.
Who was it, sir?
Commissioner Cawthorn.
Okay.
By a half a millisecond.
That passes. Next item.
Resolution number 67, 2016, authorized the upgrade and extension of Dawson Road using monies currently appropriated in the Capital Outlay Fund for Dawson Road.
So move.
Second. Moved by Commissioner Epperson, second by Commissioner Johnson. Please vote.
That fails. We move to resolution number 68. Endorsement of Ronald Darby as candidate for the executive member at large position on the executive board of the Police Trade Association of Louisiana.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Epperson, second by Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts. Please vote.
Just for the
Yeah, if
record,
you wanna
for some
speak,
of
go
you,
ahead.
Ronald Darby is a 13-year member of the Police Trade Association of Louisiana, and he's the current president of his parish. He's also on the resolution committee. That particular region that he represents has about 11 parishes in it. He's a good colleague, and he'd be a good individual to have when we're trying to get some legislation statewide and over the entire membership of the Police Jury Association.
What's his home parish? Is it Red River?
Vermilion.
Yes, the last one. Thank you. Please vote. And he's on there. Next item, please.
Have no old business, move to new business. Confirm reappointment in North Caddo Hospital District, Miss Pat White.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Dominic, second by Commissioner Chavez. Please vote. That passes. Next item.
Affirm reappointment to Caddo Parish Industrial Development Board, Mr. Vincent Rice.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Middleton. Second by the chair. Commissioner Middleton, do you want to speak on your motion?
No, he's a fine man. I think he's been doing a good job on this one.
Commissioner Epperson.
I'd like to make a substitute motion that this be delayed for 2 weeks, our next commission meeting.
Second.
Commissioner Epperson has a second motion for this to be delayed for 2 weeks. Second by Commissioner Bowman. Would you like to speak on your motion?
No, sir.
Commissioner Bowman, would you like to speak on your second?
No, sir.
Okay. Please vote.
This is to
Delay.
Delay.
delay it.
Fails.
Okay, it's not delayed. Please vote on the issue.
Mr. Cawthorn, Mr. Bowman.
On there. That passes. Next item. Okay,
Other business.
before we adjourn, I would like to say that the CC Antoine event is this Saturday, September the 10th, on the corner of Milam and Sycamore Street in Allendale, Louisiana, Shreveport. 11 a.m. and Allendale, I know, is in Shreveport, just to the west of us. 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Meeting adjourned.
Hold up,
Wait,
my
okay.
personal, point of
Yes.
personal privilege that we've established.
We haven't established anything. and
Yes,
so-
you have. You've been letting everybody else
The
do it.
meeting's adjourned, but what
No,
would you like?
no, I deserve a right of point of personal privilege, and we've been doing that. Am I correct, gentlemen, lady?
Yes.
Okay,
No, the meeting
Sit down.
is not debatable.
sit down.
Frazier?
What I'd like to do,
But I'll listen.
thank you.
Right.
We need a motion for that? No, hey, you've been doing it from now, I don't know about when. What I'd like to speak about, which I didn't get into the debate upon Tuesday about the vote on the $100,000 settlement that the IDB board wanted us to vote on. Once I made a nomination for an individual to get on the Industrial Development Board, I got Mr. Bernstein. Mr. Bernstein gave me all of the workings of the IDB board, their responsibilities. I explained it quite explicitly to my nominee. I gave him copies of it. And in no way in those deals did it state that they would surrogate their duties to this body. That board is completely autonomous. The only board that we appoint that there's an appeal process to come back to us on the decision are the members of the MPC. Plain and simple. And I spoke to my nominee as well as 2 or 3 other people on it that I knew, and they understood that quite explicitly. And I would like to see if we got members on that board that does not have the guts to stand up to their responsibilities, to what they was put on there for, they need to get off, and we put somebody that can get on with it. We have a legal decision that's on the table. We need to be moving forward. All this negativity that's been coming out about that board, you got potential clients that looking to come here, they watching it. Why do we want to come there? Them folks hollering and screaming about $100,000, a minor decision that's not theirs to make. Put a board in place. They know their responsibilities, yet and still want to delay. I've had the opportunity when I was in Tucson's airport. A person sorted out from Caddo, Parish, say, "You're always squabbling about something." A total stranger, you hear me? You're fussing about a dog park. And then I'm in Atlanta at Hartsfield. The same thing. Then I run into a guy say, "Oh, Caddo Parish. That's where that new car gonna be." I say, "Yes." He say, "I got one. I got my papers on me." See what I mean? We do not know how all this squabbling and negativity that we are putting out here, how it's affecting us. Now, some of you may not know that there are a lot of things on the table that we cannot publicly speak about. But all this negativity and this delaying that we coming out about what's happening here, nobody wants to come here because we're shooting our own selves in the foot. And I told that member of the IDB board and anyone else that I talked with, move forward, accept that settlement, and carry on the business so we can get on about taking care of business here in Caddo Parish. Thank you.
I'm glad that was off the record. The meeting was already adjourned.
It's on the record. I got it on my cell phone. No.